YouTube? It's your boy JB Reacts, and today it's the start of my YouTube channel. So we're just trying to get started, and we're gonna be reacting to pretty much everything that's popping. And Young Don, he's up there. He's one of the reaction YouTube channels that I watch. And today we finna react to his new video. See the title right here. Let's get it.
Okay. All right. So I move on. So like, let's say she like texts me. I don't hit her up for a while, and then she texts me. What do I do then? David then tells me that if that happens, so this is the.
Hey, before I get into it, I'm gonna link his channel in the description. Obviously, go show love to Young Don. And if you just found my YouTube channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button, like the video and all that.
Third video documenting the romantic but rocky relationship between me and my high school sweetheart. I highly recommend you watch the two previous videos so that you can get the whole story. But if you need a refresher, when we last left off, I explained how I allowed my irrational jealousy and insecurities to destroy my relationship with the first girl I ever fell in love with. But I suppose, thankfully, an unlikely mentor entered my life, and with his advice, I got my girl back one last time. So who was this guy? Well, his name was David. Unlike anybody I had ever met before. David transferred to my high school during senior year. He was this big, light-skinned Hispanic dude, like 6 feet tall, built like a tank. And when dude came through, it was hard for you not to notice. For one, rocked a shaved head. Never seen that before in someone that young. And if that didn't catch your attention, then certainly his drip would. Arguably the most drippy dude in the whole school. I'm talking about this dude had all the joy.
Who is that at y'all's school? My bad for pausing, but if y'all go to school, if y'all still in school, who is that? Like, y'all got that type of person at y'all's school? Let me know in the comments.
Jordans, all the Air Maxes, only rock True Religion jeans and Polo Ralph Lauren and Nautica shirts. And when you're a broke teenager in high school, that is very impressive. But the most striking thing about David wouldn't actually hit you until he opened his mouth. And that's because on the rare occasion that he actually spoke to you, you would be dazzled by his shiny gold grills that sat on his teeth. And even more surprising than that was the fact that he talked like Kodak, bro. Yes, Kodak Black. This light-skinned Hispanic dude.
Hey, if y'all ain't heard, Kodak free now, so hey, that's good for him. Hopefully he can do something with his opportunity.
Tall like a dark-skinned dude with dreads from the dirty South. I'm talking about that. You feel me? And that's because David grew up in the hoods of South Florida. I'm talking Lake City, Opelika, Miami Gardens. If you know, you know, bro. It's not a game over there. So, as some of you know, I played varsity basketball in high school, and that's how I met David. He showed up one day for tryouts, and mans was nice, so he made the team. But he mostly kept to himself. Never said too much to anybody, really, including the coach. So that's how we knew each other. But we wouldn't become friends until the second semester of senior year, when we ended up in the same marine biology class. Now, this may come as a surprise to you, but David wasn't particularly passionate about marine biology. Needless to say, when he showed up for the first day of class and saw me sitting in the back, he was happy to see someone he knew. That he knew was smart. So he could cheat. That's truly how our friendship started. Every class we had together, I would happily let him copy off my homework or cheat off my tests, partly because we were teammates, so I wanted him to have good grades, but also because I was one of those kids who was good at school, but also didn't care about school. Like, I was a dude that people knew they could come and ask to copy my homework, and I would just hand it over.
For real.
I was solid like that. And that
I'm low-key like that too. If I try hard enough at school, I could be getting good grades, but sometimes I just don't be trying. Like, I don't feel like doing that shit.
Bought me a lot of points with David. And from that point on, we became boys, to the point that we would occasionally hang out outside of class and basketball practice. And it became clear to me that David saw me as more than a bump in his GPA when one day he comes to class and sees me sitting in the back of the room looking bummed out. This was right after my girl and I had broken up for the second time, and it was affecting me. So David comes, he sits beside me, and he asks me what's going on. I told him that me and my girl just broke up, and I was pretty bent up about it. David instantly pulls out his phone and just starts scrolling through pictures of girls that he's, having relations with. And he was like, yo, this is what you need to be on. Forget that girl. But that wasn't me. You feel me? I couldn't just move on like that. So when he realized that wasn't the answer I wanted to hear, he decided to give me some advice. First, he told me I had to move on. He said that when a girl leaves a dude, he can't really get her back. She has to come back. And as long as she can tell that you want her, she's gonna stay away. So I hear this and I'm...
That's facts right there. That's actually real advice. Some of y'all should actually use that advice if y'all ever in that situation.
You mean just don't text her and stuff? Okay, yeah, I can do that. He tells me no, the relationship is over. It's done. Move on. Of course, I'm confused because I'm like, well, if I move on, then how am I supposed to get her back? He's like, Don, it's over. You're not gonna get back what you lost. But there's a chance she might want to start something new if she sees change. But as long as you're holding on to the old stuff, she's gonna know you the same person. And look, you can move on. She might not come back, but if you do move on, then maybe she'll see that and come back. I'm like, okay. All right, so I move on. So let's say she texts me. I don't hit her up for a while, and then she texts me. What do I do then? David then tells me that if that happens, I basically gotta curve her. He was saying that if she sees that I look like I'm moving on, she's gonna kind of test it, you feel me? To see if it's real or not. And if I jump at it the first time she shows me some attention after breaking up with me, then she's gonna know I didn't really move on. She basically has to be asking to come back. Anything short of that is a test. So of course, I'm looking at this dude like he's crazy. First, he tells me that I basically gotta forget about her, and then in the off chance that she actually does hit me up, I gotta curve her unless she's explicitly asking to get back with it just didn't sound like it made any sense. David sees the confusion on my face and probably already feeling like he's been trying way too hard to explain this to me. So then he's like, yo, do whatever you want. So basically, I thought that I was still where I was and he didn't help me at all. But I did think the whole moving on thing was probably for the best, because there's no way she was gonna come back. So I started to do that. And if you watch part 1 of this series, then you know what that looks like. Hanging out with the boys, playing basketball, and not contacting my ex. A few weeks go by, and then I get a text. It's from Taylor, saying that she had one of my jackets and she wanted to return it to me. I didn't think much of it, so I said okay. We decided to meet after school the next day in the middle of the campus, and that's where she was gonna give it to me. So after school the next day, I'm heading to the middle of campus, and I can see she's already there standing with my jacket in hand, and she was looking mad cute. And I'm like,
I guarantee she still got feelings. Guarantee it.
Man, I do miss that. But then I remembered what David said. If she doesn't make it clear that she wants to come back, then there's no long talking to be had.
At that point,
so I walk my way over to her. I say, what's up? She says, hey, and then hands me my jacket. I say, thanks. And then with no hesitation or pause, I turn around and start walking away. Clearly, she didn't expect that. And she calls out to me. So I stop, I turn around, I'm like,
that's what I mean.
Yo, what's up? She's like, really? I'm like, I said thanks. And then she storms off. And I'm just standing there like, right? And then I leave. Because at this point, I had really already moved on to a great degree. As far as I was concerned, the relationship was over, and I wasn't expecting her to want to get back with me. Well, later that evening, I'm chilling at home. This was back when I was still living with the aunt that kicked me out, by the way. I'm chilling in the kitchen, eating like a banana or something, when my phone lights up. It was a text from Taylor. I open it, and she was like, "Hey, I want to talk."
I bet she does want to
I'm
talk.
like, I finished my banana, and then I was like, "Yeah, I'm free right now. You can call me." I send it, and not long after that, my phone starts to ring. So I pick it up, and she's like, "Hey." I'm like, "Hey." Then she says, "I miss you." I'm like, "Yeah, well, I miss you too." She says, "Well, you didn't act like it today. We don't talk for weeks, and that's how you treat me." I'm like, "Taylor, what do you want from me? You broke up with me. What is I supposed to do?"
That's facts. She did break up with him, so like, I would have done the same thing as him, but at the same time, you can tell, like, in that situation, she definitely wanted him back, and she wanted him to, like, do something then and there.
And then it's quiet. But I didn't hear it. I didn't hear her ask to come back. So I was like, "Well, thanks for the jacket. So you don't want to get back together?" I'm like, "Skirt." I'm like, what do you mean?" She's like, I want to get back together."
Called it.
I'm like,
I
"Oh,
called that shit.
yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, I miss you." And just like that, this is not a very strange conversation to be had between two lovebirds in high school. So, we got back together, and just like that, got my girl back. Shout out to David. But ultimately, we would break up
David
again
got some real
because I never
advice.
fixed the root problem of why we broke up in the first place. Also, it was the end of senior year. I was about to move to California.
got a
She was
homie
going to
like
stay in
David,
Florida.
then I
And
don't know
long
what to tell
distance
you.
relationship,
Listen
plus
out.
both of us
You
being
don't get
teenagers
no
and
good
going to
advice.
college doesn't quite
gotta have that one
spell
friend that you can rely on
strong
for good advice.
relationship. So
You know
did
what
David's advice work? Well, for what I wanted at the time, I guess. But that's not the advice 25-year-old me would give to 18-year-old me today. Instead, I would tell him, "Hey, I know you're hurt, and I know that you think having a girlfriend is important and validates you as a desirable and worthful young man. But that is an illusion. No amount of success with girls is ever going to make you feel worthful. In fact, so long as you continue to pursue women, you will never be all that you can be. So you will never be happy. Focus on yourself. Don't even think about a girlfriend. Learn who you are. Figure out what's important to you. Master your mind and your body with discipline. Listen to that voice in your head that tells you what to do. Ask it for guidance. Do that, and you will become legendary. So if the day ever comes that a girl is in your life, it will be because you chose her, and she will be happy that you did. End of the night.
Bro, that's facts, though. You see, a lot of y'all be chasing after females and doing all this and all that, when in reality, you should be focusing on yourself. And, that's facts. Anyways, that was a lit video by Young Don. We finna keep posting videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And anyways, peace out.